Good afternoon, Bradley here. It's a Saturday afternoon, the day before the Super Bowl. Who day? No, I don't think so. I'll root for him reluctantly. I'll have a little trivia for you. Everybody knows the LA Rams. They were in LA, they went to St. Louis, they came back to LA. But actually originally they were the Cleveland Rams. So they played there during the 40s. And I think in 45 or so they moved to LA. And the next year the Browns were formed. They were part of a new football league called the All-American Football Conference, a rival to the NFL. So they played in that league for 5 years or so before they folded, and then the Browns were brought into the NFL. So I guess you could say there's two teams from, well, no, one team from Cleveland. But the Bengals, they were formed by Paul Brown, who was a former coach, a namesake of the Cleveland Browns. In the late 60s, he got a franchise for Cincinnati. So there's a lot of incestuous history in the NFL, all those owners. Enough trivia. Just want to show a couple albums I just got in the last week or so, and they are both, surprisingly, organ jazz. A lot of people are not fans of organ jazz. I like it. So this is right up my alley. So the first album, I had it pre-ordered for a few months, actually. And talking about Delvon Lamar Organ Trio on Coal Mine Records. It's called Cold as Weiss. Another nice package from Coal Mine Records. This cover, it isn't quite as thick as the old Coal Mine releases, but hey, it's pretty good though. And on the pre-order, I kind of paid a little extra, probably whatever, 10 bucks, and that got you colored vinyl plus a 45 plus an actual CD, which I don't really play CDs. The vinyl pressings look really cool, kind of like ice cold blue swirl vinyl. And as I mentioned, where is it? In this package, it also came with the CD, which I will not even open because I won't play it. So that's very cool. And also in the package, a 45, which that is pretty cool. That's the slip cover. This is really cool vinyl, translucent ice cold blue vinyl. And this 45, excellent. A couple really good songs on here. Let's see what other goodies are in here. Oh, here we go. Stickers from Coal Mine. I'll just keep them in the package. So that's pretty cool. So if you watch any of my other videos, you'll know that I'm a pretty big fan of the Delvon Lamar Organ Trio. A couple years ago, I almost had tickets, but then the pandemic hit. So, of course, I didn't buy tickets. One of these days, I will see them live. So, I'm not sure the last album. I'm going to say the drummer, which is Dan Weiss. That's him right there. That's when he joined the group as a permanent member. Prior to that, David McGraw played drums, and I think he just moved on to other things. I don't think there were any ill feelings at all. I do know that Delvon Lamar, they do a lot of traveling to Europe and overseas, plus around the U.S. Of course, the last year and a half, no, but before that and presently, they're doing it. So this would be soul, jazz, funk. And that's what's actually is playing on TV. They just put a concert on the other night on YouTube. So it's three-piece. Delvon Lamar, which he started out as a drummer. He never started playing the Hammond B3 until he was like 22. But as you can tell, he took to it right away. Jimmy James is the guitarist, right there. And as you can tell, the guitar sound, it's kind of, I'm not sure what kind of guitar he uses, probably a Telecaster or something. Kind of run through I don't know if it's a Fender or twin reverb, but it's got that reverb on the guitar. So that's always a giveaway for, most of the times, Delvon Lamar sound. And as I said, Dan Weiss joined in the last year or two. This is good stuff. I don't know. I suppose it's kind of a continuation of their previous album, but if you listen to it a couple times, it's just so good, and the songs are different, and they are actually a great live band, which that's why I want to see them. So anyhow, Delvon Lamar organ trio, Cold as Weiss. Very cool, from Coal Mine Records. So that's the new organ jazz. I also have some old organ jazz. So this is probably, I'm going to say 64, yeah, 1964 on Verve Records, featuring the incredible Jimmy Smith, The Cat. This is a reissue on Verve, kind of like their, they started this series a few years ago called Vital Vinyl. I think it's still going, but they don't really publicize it that much. Now they're not audiophile, but they are really, really good sounding pressings on this. So this is 1964, and this is, it's kind of well, it's a big band with Jimmy Smith playing the organ. So it's arranged and conducted by Lalo Schifrin. So thought I would mention that. So Jimmy moved to Verve, I'm thinking around 1962. And at that time, he was putting out new albums on Verve. Plus, Blue Note was also issuing records that were previously made but not released on Blue Note. So you had it coming from both sides. Now the Blue Note records, I think they were all pretty much, I'm going to say either trios or quartets. A lot of trio stuff. Now when he went to the Verve, it opened up the possibility of him playing with a large band. And so he would do that quite often. I think he did a few albums with Lalo Schifrin, Oliver Nelson. So this is it's a big band, but they've got a lot of great jazz players on here, such as.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do one more tune. Then,
well, Kenny Burrell on guitar, Grady Tate on drums, which he played a lot with Jimmy Smith.
Todd Baker is one of the baddest.
Herbie Green, Jimmy Cleveland, trombones.
So, throw that
George Duvivier bass. So
Right, we're gonna
these are
close out
excellent
with
musicians on this
a
album.
tune,
The
talked
Cat.
about briefly earlier about somebody.
He did. Jimmy Smith did not write any of these. These were written by various other
Pull your pants up.
people. Now the back of this, you can see it's got a little bit of liner notes on there, but not much. And these are probably the worst liner notes I have ever read. They were written by a guy named Al Collins. He was at KSFO in San Francisco. I just want to read a little bit of this. And I am assuming before he wrote this, he read a book about Paul Bunyan. For example, he starts out, he says, Jimmy Smith, the cat, cuts through grease like fresh battery acid, like a modern-day Paul Bunyan with a tremendous pair of hands. Jimmy Smith exerts enormous power through his fingers, and like that legendary figure from folklore, he wields a mighty axe. And it kind of goes on like that. It's like, wow. It's bizarre to me. I don't get it at all. But really cool album if you're into jazz organ, if you're into jazz organ and big band, so that kind of narrows the amount of people. But actually, when this came out, I think it sold pretty good. People bought Jimmy Smith albums, whether he was playing with a trio, quartet, or a big band. A different type of sound from his Blue Note material. It's still bluesy, and actually his playing, if you would just take all the instrumentation away, it would pretty much sound like a Blue Note record, but they just add all the orchestration. So, not for everybody, but for me, Jimmy Smith, the cat. Okay, that wraps it up for today. So I will just take it easy, probably watch a little football tomorrow. So hope all of you have a great weekend, and take care, and I'll see you the next time. Goodbye.